that you've got an understanding of why you're here and what your role is, you may be wondering about what you'll actually do and talk about once you meet your mentor or mentee. Mentors, this section in your book goes through the 3A model, a method of mentoring designed by Sisterhood community member Betty Mutwiri. Betty will be breaking her model down in a separate video that you'll watch later, but it will still be helpful for you to hear about what the mentees go through in this section, as it will be what they have prepared to discuss with you when you meet for the first time. Mentees, you have two main goals in this section. Number 1, complete your life story timeline. Number 2, identify potential mentoring topics. First, the life story timeline. You'll find a template and some instructions on how to do this in the Step 2 section of your book. If you'd like, turn there now to get a preview for later. Mentors, these pages are only in the Mentee book, so don't get confused if you can't find them. The life story timeline is something you're going to do on your own outside of our meeting tonight. Be sure to put some real thought and reflection into it. The timeline is not only good preparation for setting the direction between you and your mentor, it's also just a really good exercise that may help you learn a lot about yourself. Once you've completed your timeline, make sure you're prepared to talk about it, as this will make up a big part of your first meeting with your mentor. Your second goal in Step 2 is to identify some potential topics that you'd like to focus on for the year ahead with your mentor. You can get some help in doing this by turning to the pages titled Mentoring Topics. These come right after your life story timeline pages, again, only in the Mentee book. It can be easy for mentoring to become just about having a coffee and a casual chat with a more mature believer. While that's not always the worst thing, sometimes when that's all the mentoring relationship entails, the mentor and mentee can start to feel like their times together feel a little pointless or directionless, and like neither of them are sure why they're there or what they're doing. Choosing a topic to focus on can guard you both against this. On the Mentoring Topics pages, you'll see a chart with several subjects that the Rooted team has chosen to focus on. Perhaps there is one that jumps out at you that you already know you'd like to zero in on for the year. But if not, go through each one and write down a 1 to 10 rating for each, with 1 indicating that it's an area in which you could really use some support, and 10 indicating that the area is one you really excel in. You might also cross out a few that just aren't applicable to you. After going through this exercise, circle 2 or 3 topics that stand out to you as ones that would be beneficial to put some work into with your mentor. You'll also notice that there is a QR code at the bottom of this page. This will lead you to Rooted's recommended resources page. For each topic, you'll find some books, videos, articles, sermons, and/or studies that provide some information, guidance, and support. Feel free to browse through the resources that correspond with your selected topics and perhaps come up with some ideas of what you and your mentor could consider going through together. Alternatively, there may be a topic that you'd like to focus on that isn't included in Rooted's mentoring topic list. That's completely fine. You may also want to use a resource that we haven't listed on our recommended list. That's completely fine too. The structure is just meant to be a jumping off point, giving you some direction and ensuring you don't show up and spend the whole first meeting awkwardly twiddling your thumbs. If there's any way that you want to adapt the structure to fit your own needs and goals, you are more than welcome to do that. So in review, mentees, you have 2 homework assignments to complete before meeting your mentor for the first time. First, your life story timeline. And second, you need to identify some potential mentoring topics and perhaps have a look at some recommended resources you'd be interested in as well. Mentors, while you don't have to complete these 2 assignments, it is a good idea to be prepared to share your own story with your mentee, even if not with the same thoroughness or structure as they're required to do. And be praying for both yourself and your mentee in this time. Recognize that it may be a nerve-wracking or difficult experience for some of them to prepare and share their life stories and the areas that they're struggling with. The way that you receive what they share with you is important, and having God's leading and active hand in it all can make all the difference. Pause the video for a few minutes to discuss the following questions.